Did you ever get the feeling that the world isn't what it seems? That there's something greater, deeper, hidden, waiting just for you to discover? Today, we're diving into one of the most intriguing concepts of enlightenment, the 33rd degree, and its promise to unlock reality as it truly is. Buckle up, because this journey is about to challenge everything you thought you knew. Let's start with the basics. The 33rd degree. This phrase originates from Freemasonry, an esoteric society steeped in centuries of tradition, philosophy, and ritual. But here's the twist. It's not a rank you can apply for. You can't simply work your way up the ladder to achieve it. In Freemasonry's Scottish Rite, the 33rd degree is more than just a title. It's an honor bestowed upon individuals deemed worthy, often marked by years of service, self-improvement, and contributions to humanity. But what does it symbolize? The 33rd degree represents mastery, a level of understanding where past teachings, experiences, and knowledge finally coalesce into a profound revelation. Think of it like piecing together a puzzle throughout your life, only to one day step back and see the full, magnificent picture. At this stage, reality is no longer fragmented. It reveals itself in its interconnected glory. Now here's where things get fascinating. While the 33rd degree is a concept tied to Freemasonry, people around the world interpret it as a metaphor for enlightenment or awakening. Across philosophies and cultures, from the hermetic traditions of Egypt to Eastern philosophies like Buddhism and Advaita Vedanta, there's a recurring theme of transcending illusions. Reality, they argue, is often masked by ego, cultural conditioning, and false assumptions. Take quantum physics, for instance. Yes, I just went there. At the quantum level, our assumptions about how the universe works get flipped on their head. Objects don't have definite states until observed. Time and space aren't constants. Is reality solid, or is it a field of infinite possibilities shaped by the observer? Mastery of the 33rd degree is like mastering the observer effect, realizing that your consciousness plays a fundamental role in bringing the universe into focus. But you might be asking, how does one achieve such mastery? And can this idea of the 33rd degree, metaphorical or literal, apply to everyday life? First and foremost, it's about perception. The greatest barrier to uncovering the fabric of reality is our own mind. Yes, your mind is both a tool and a trap. It's filled with biases, preconceived notions, and what psychologists call the confirmation bias, seeking evidence to support what we already believe rather than challenging those beliefs. Breaking free of this requires deliberate effort. Philosophers like Socrates taught the value of questioning everything, famously saying, "The unexamined life is not worth living." Similarly, in Buddhist meditation, practitioners strive to observe their thoughts without attachment, to look inward and recognize how illusions shape their worldview. Each moment of clarity, each release of ego-driven assumptions, is a step closer to that fabled 33rd degree. Another pathway? Learning. Lifelong learning, to be specific. Every book you read, every culture you explore, every uncomfortable truth you choose to face, it expands your perspective. It's like carving a clearer lens for understanding the world. Mastery, as proposed by the 33rd degree, isn't about having all the answers. It's having the wisdom to ask better questions. We can't forget the moral and ethical component here. In Freemasonry, higher degrees are inseparable from the principles of morality, justice, and selflessness. It's not enough simply to see reality for what it is. One must also act accordingly. Many spiritual traditions echo this idea. The Bhagavad Gita, an ancient Hindu text, teaches that wisdom and righteous action go hand in hand. In Christianity, the concept of grace combines truth with compassion. At the 33rd degree, seeing reality means seeing how deeply interconnected we all are, a realization that comes with immense responsibility. Still, not everyone agrees on what it means for reality to reveal itself. Some describe it as a spiritual or mystical experience. Others see it as an intellectual awakening. Either way, Those who've experienced it often struggle to put it into words. Mystics from Rumi to Alan Watts have likened it to waking up from a dream or piercing through a veil. You know when Neo in The Matrix finally understands he's living in a simulation? Yeah, it's kind of like that. But without the action sequences, probably. But let's pause and address something important: misconceptions. The 33rd degree, partly because of its association with Freemasonry, has become the subject of numerous conspiracy theories. Some say it's proof of secret power or global manipulation. However, the truth is far less dramatic. Freemasonry is not about controlling the world, it's about bettering the individual. If anything, the myths surrounding the 33rd degree highlight humanity's longing for hidden truths and ultimate meaning. Now, if you're intrigued and wondering how this concept manifests in your life, here are a few practical steps. 1. Practice critical thinking. Recognize your own biases and challenge them. Ask yourself why you believe what you believe. Scrutinize your assumptions rather than accepting them blindly. 2. Meditation and mindfulness. These practices teach us to live in the present and observe our thought patterns. Over time, clarity emerges, and ego-driven illusions begin to crumble. 3. Study across disciplines. Read history, philosophy, science, and religious texts. The more perspectives you are exposed to, the more pieces of the puzzle you acquire. 4. Embrace humility. True mastery includes knowing you don't know it all. Be open to learning and unlearning again and again. 5. Live ethically. Let your newfound understanding translate into action. Whether helping a stranger or choosing kindness over conflict, ethical alignment brings you closer to harmony with reality. And here's a comforting thought. This journey is not about reaching an endpoint. It's about the process, the exploration, the constant unveiling. The 33rd degree reminds us that enlightenment isn't reserved for a select few or a secretive elite. It's a universal potential, available to anyone willing to undertake the great work of self-discovery. In conclusion, the path to mastery, whether you call it the 33rd degree, enlightenment, or awakening, isn't about mystical powers or secret societies. It's about learning to see the world as it truly is: vast, intricate, infinitely connected. It's about breaking free from the illusions that surround us and taking our rightful place as conscious participants in the grand tapestry of existence. So the next time you hear someone mention the 33rd degree, think less about the badge and more about the journey. And remember, every question you ask, every truth you uncover, is a step toward revelation. Reality is waiting. Are you ready to see clearly?